just some fine rebop. Hidey, 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 oh, the hidey ho man, that's me. Hidey, hidey ho man, that's me. Hidey, hidey ho man, that's me. Hidey, hidey ho man, that's me.
This is Fully Baked Radio, sativacross.com, CMMNJ.org. We're back on the air again. You can't keep us down forever. Here with Ken Walski, Wayne Cannabis King, Jim Miller, a bunch of other people. I'm Lefty Grimes, one of your hosts. For some reason, we got knocked off the air again, but we're back up again. So, Mr. Wolski, you were in the middle of doing your announcements about the Stone Pony and a bunch of stuff coming up. Can you finish up with some of your announcements?
Thank you, Lefty. Yes, I am Ken Walski, Coalition for Medical Marijuana, New Jersey, and CMMNJ is scheduled to have a table at the Stone Pony this Saturday on the, what would that be, the 11th of July, about 8 p.m., where Slightly Stupid is going to be playing at the Stone Pony, and you can come out and buy some of our T-shirts and buy some of our wristbands and support our efforts here for medical marijuana in the state of New Jersey. Now, tomorrow, Friday, there's going to be Smoke Down Prohibition 2 starting at 4 p.m. at Love Park in Philadelphia. There'll be speakers, and there's going to be a march through Philadelphia. So we certainly hope to see you at Love Park tomorrow, Friday, at 4 p.m. I'll be one of the speakers. And what I'm going to talk about is my experiences in Pennsylvania. I'm a registered nurse. I've been an RN for 39 years in the state of New Jersey, and I'm also registered in Pennsylvania. And I worked in some of the finest hospitals in Pennsylvania. Finest hospitals in the world, really. When I was an ICU nurse let's see, I worked at Temple University and Hahnemann Hospital and Thomas Jefferson University Hospital, and I've been just such a wonderful experience, being a nurse. And the New Jersey State Nurses Association endorsed medical marijuana in 2003. The American Nurses Association endorsed medical marijuana in 2004, and the Pennsylvania State Nurses Association endorsed medical marijuana in 2013. So I'm just real proud to be a nurse, and how my colleagues in the nursing profession have endorsed medical marijuana for the good of the patients. As a matter of fact, the Pennsylvania State Nurses Association is going around the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and giving courses for continuing education units, are called CEUs, on the endocannabinoid system. So they've really not only embraced it, but they're teaching their colleagues about this new science of the endocannabinoid system, and they're going around the state, and they're doing a wonderful job there. And I'd like to contrast that with the Pennsylvania Medical Society, because the Pennsylvania Medical Society, or as I say, PMS, they have come out and said that they are not endorsing medical marijuana. Well, let me change that. They didn't say they said they are not opposed to medical marijuana in Pennsylvania, but they don't want medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. They just want to study medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. They don't want it available to the patients who can benefit from medical marijuana. Well, and one of the reasons they do is they say this is because they are not convinced that marijuana is harmful. Well, doing no harm, by withholding marijuana from patients who need it, hundreds of thousands of patients in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they are doing tremendous harm. The Pennsylvania Medical Society is doing tremendous harm by not endorsing medical marijuana, by insisting that medical marijuana be kept from these patients in New Jersey. In some cases, this can result in death from seizures. 1/3 of seizures are not controlled by anticonvulsant medications, and a seizure can result in death, and yet marijuana can control these seizures. And access to medical marijuana for desperate patients can result in jail cells and prison sentences. So you certainly are doing harm to people by withholding marijuana from them, and that's my message to the Pennsylvania Medical Society.
That's a good message. You know, a point brought up earlier, Wayne brought up, is there's a subset of people who don't want to break the law, who are sick.
Right.
And obeying the law costs them at times their own lives, obeying the law. Because a lot of times people think, well, just take care of yourself. And I knew somebody who's, I don't know if it was his father or grandfather, but he was sick and refused to consider it because he wasn't going to break any laws.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, many people are like that, Jim. And you know, it's unfortunate that the doctrine of medical necessity is not more widely accepted here in the United States. It's a real struggle to establish that through the court system. And I think if we did really firmly establish the doctrine of medical necessity, that is to say that it is necessary for me to break this law because I will be harmed more if I do not break the law than if I break the law. And that's the essence of the doctrine of medical necessity. It's a question of where is there greater harm, and unfortunately, the courts are very reluctant to admit that because they think that it's a get out of jail free card for many people who just want to get high on marijuana, and you know that's not the case at all. We're talking about people who are desperate and searching for the kind of relief that is just not available to them through pharmaceutical agents and through surgeries.
You know, when you go to any emergency room, they have to treat you, give you nominal care, stabilize you, and take care of you, whether they can even know who you are, whether you have insurance, whether you can pay. And that's for a reason. I don't see why that doesn't apply to cannabis as medicine, that with the medical necessity you were talking about, they should have every bit as much a right to that as they would to be treated in an emergency room.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet, you know, the Pennsylvania Medical Society says no, you should not have access to medical marijuana. We need to study it more. By God, how long have they been studying it? You know, I mean, they're really slow studies, if you ask me.
Did they say when they plan on beginning studying it?
Yeah, that's another
they
good
have no
question.
They have no plans to study it.
And you know, here's what they told the Pennsylvania legislature. They said, "Give us money so we can study it. That's what we want to do.
Really?
We do not want this. We do not want patients to have access to medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. We want you to give us money so that we can study it." And their studies are not going to amount to anything as long as marijuana is a Schedule I drug. There's only one study that's going to be that's really worth anything, and that's the large-scale clinical trials, which simply cannot get done with the federal with marijuana as a Schedule I drug.
And with the supply and tight control with National Institute of Drug Abuse,
Right, absolutely.
they can not allow the marijuana for legitimate studies and say whatever they want as a reason not to.
Exactly. Now the Pennsylvania Medical Society did say that they joined with the American Medical Association in asking the federal government to reschedule marijuana so that it can be studied more easily. But they did this 5 years ago, Jim. And what have they done since? What's happened in the last 5 years? Has the federal government changed, rescheduled marijuana? No. The AMA and PMS called for it, and nothing happened. So how long are they? How's that going? You know, what kind of progress are they making? Is there some kind of timetable for the?
I think it's a war of attrition for them. The people eventually will die and go away.
You know, 25 years. When do they expect to be done their studies? 5 years, 25 years, 100 years? It absolutely makes no sense. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you again.
I have some young people here stopping by to say hello.
Some familiar faces from a few weeks back. Hi, how's it going? Good to see you.
Great, thanks.
Good to see you.
Thanks for stopping by. Hello.
Here we are.
Ken Walski from the Coalition for Medical Marijuana, and Jim Miller. We're the co-founders of the coalition.
Met at the Weed Man's Joint a couple of weeks ago, so these are not strangers to me.
Oh, great.
I love the sign, by the way. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was a sign I made as I was leaving. I had one blank sign, and I'd been out of the country in Canada for 10 days, totally locked away, not one ripple of news. And when I got back, it seemed to me some new things rose to the top, like 230 days out of state in the last year and a half. You know, we've done more of these. We've done, this is our 15th gathering here, where he's done only 2 town halls in New Jersey, but 11 in New Hampshire.
And some gifts.
So to
gifts
have
for
a have a sign saying, Governor, next time you're in New Jersey, come sit down on our podcast. You know,
Thank you for stopping.
and he
by.
may well be here today. We don't know. It's hard to see what his schedule is, but he's been invited to be on. Lefty invited him. He was hustling by one day, and he said, "Not now." So here's my interpretation of the governor being invited on the podcast and responding, "Not now." He's a tough-talking governor. He tells it like it is. If he meant no, I'm not going to be on it, he would have said, "No, I'm not going to be on it," because that's how he is, right? He's a Jersey guy. He speaks straight. He gives as good as he gets. So he said, "Not now," indicates that another time.
He certainly is not afraid to share his opinions.
Yeah, so
Whoever. So
we're just saying that he could actually come and sit down. Ken or I would virtually treat him with kid gloves compared to what we like to say to him and are saying to him here every week, you know. I mean, we don't want to alienate him totally. We,
and everyone that I've heard from is supposed to be a
you know,
really nice guy.
we
in
wanna-
person. It's just people disagree.
Well, it's so unfortunate that he's really dug his heels in on this issue. He said he's not going to expand the medical marijuana program, even though the law itself calls for expansion of the medical marijuana program, and legalization of marijuana is never going to happen in his watch. So you know, it's really unfortunate that he's drawn that line in the sand, so to speak. But what we did last night was I went to Asbury Park, the city of Asbury Park, city council, and the Asbury Park council and the mayor. They voted on a resolution to endorse the legalization of marijuana in the state of New Jersey, and so that was very, very positive. That was one of the 565 municipalities in the state of New Jersey, so that was number one. And now we only have 564 more to go, and you know, so I think we're making progress. If you people are interested in pursuing something like that, we'll have the resolution available for you. I have a copy of it here. It'll be on our website. And you know, we encourage you to bring this to your local officials. You know, the local officials have not been bought out yet by the pharmaceutical industry. You know, so
and you know, and a good point that this is the first. You say,
yeah.
It's not theoretical anymore. We can more or less now find people who would approach their own city council, town council, whatever their municipal form of government is, and say, I think we should do this. Can you tell me why not? So it's a template to say which part of this do we disagree with, and when you can explain that to me, maybe I'll become educated myself.
Yeah.
Well, if you can do it without smiling or chortling.
But the
That's my
resolution
every day a new word, chortle.
it's a cross between a chuckle and a snort, a short. In the state of New Jersey, every 24 minutes there's a marijuana arrest. More than 21,000 possession arrests every year, and we spend over $1 billion in the last decade on these marijuana arrests. So you know, it's just it wastes the law enforcement resources of police and prosecutors and courts, and could be better spent, you know, on serious crime. Actually, one of the people who spoke last night, besides myself, was John Henry Barr who is the head of the Municipal Prosecutors Association, and he spoke to the council of Asbury Park before they endorsed that. And he talked about how much of a waste of his time this was causing, and how, you know, for going back and forth to judges and back and forth for you know, just less than a joint. It was just a terrible waste of time. And you know, the terrible consequences of marijuana arrests lead up to 6 months in jail, loss of a job, driver's license suspension, fines of over $1,000, immigration consequences, loss of student financial aid. You know, you can be barred from going to college just by a marijuana
And when
arrest.
all that happens and you get home, loss of your stash, you got nothing.
Yeah. No.
Well, and in New Jersey, paraphernalia and possession are the same level of crime. So I was arrested for just paraphernalia, and I was looking at up to 6 months.
You were arrested just for paraphernalia, a pipe or something, or
It was a pipe, yeah. And
yeah.
I almost lost my student loans, and I would.
Unbelievable.
I would have had to drop out of college.
And you can be evicted from public housing. You know, it really, you know, and not to mention barred from employment. Look at all the jobs that you no longer can or you have access to if you have a marijuana arrest. You know, it really creates second-class citizens, is what it does. And then the people I brought up the fact that I was an RN for the Department of Corrections for 22 years, from 1984 to 2006. And in those 22 years, the prison population tripled from 9,000 inmates to 27,000 inmates. 27,000 inmates, just in the time that I worked there. And of those 27,000 inmates, 86% were black and Hispanic. You know, it was just shocking the numbers. You look at the impact that these laws have on our inner cities, but the poor residents who live in the inner cities, and you know, it's just devastating impact. And it's not effective. You know, marijuana is stronger now than ever. It's more available than ever. It's cheaper than ever, at least on the illegal market, not in ATCs.
What's the worst story you've heard, say, from Philadelphia? They decriminalized it, and while it's not legal, that avoids a lot of almost everything we're talking about, money, everything except you lose your stash.
And it was a small step.
And a $25 up to $100.
Yeah.
That just doing that in Philadelphia, what's the bad stories that we've heard? I mean, what's the worst we've heard, the worst ramification? I haven't heard any.
I haven't heard any. I haven't heard any bad stories.
And we know the benefits. You just stated them.
Right.
A lot of the money saved.
Mhm.
So if there's no problems in a city like Philadelphia, why would there be a problem in Trenton or
Right.
anywhere?
And that's just decriminalization. But you know, the problem with decriminalization is that it still makes illegal the production and distribution of marijuana, and that's a problem, because you know, you're saying it's okay. I'm not going to arrest you for using it, but how are you going to get it?
This is
No.
sort of like
Not only that, but it is ignoring the hundreds of millions of dollars that are possible from tax money when you tax and regulate it, and regulate the sale of marijuana in a reasonable way. That we can do, that we do with alcohol, other dangerous substances.
I know you wouldn't think I watch Beavis and Butthead.
And you know, this tax revenue can really help our cities and our state in so many different ways.
So theoretically, then, it does present kind of a conundrum that we would like it to be legalized in New Jersey. We have a bill saying so. We also have a decriminalization bill. So how do we go by the decriminalization bill in favor of legalization? I mean, assuming we had a chance of getting either one signed, never
Yeah.
mind the governor, just going for that. Do you think that a decriminalization bill makes it harder to take the next step, or could that be a stepping stone to the next step when you say, look, nothing's going wrong?
Yeah, no, it certainly can be a stepping stone, certainly.
Slippery slope
You
towards
know,
something
like,
good.
absolutely. Slippery slope to a wonderful and refreshing pool.
Yeah, really, you know. Put up any resistance there.
So, you know, and in some ways, you know, I mean, we have to look at incremental reforms, and this is one of the incremental reforms. I think, you know, allowing marijuana. All right, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, we'll be down in a
Yeah.
minute.
So, you know, we have to look at incremental reforms. But right now, since the incremental reforms are barred from us because of the governor's intransigence on this issue, you know, why waste your time on incremental reforms? And
Oh,
we might as well start
if
really
it's going to be
educating the public about how marijuana can really help our society.
and if all we're going to
legalizing
have is a
marijuana.
dialogue without results, it might
Yeah.
be the best dialogue possible, which I agree.
And starting the cities to understand. You know, I'd like to bring this resolution to the city of Trenton also. You know, editorial boards of the New York Times, the Star Ledger, the Times of Trenton, and the Daily Targum have endorsed legalization, taxation, and regulation of marijuana.
I'm pretty sure there's a columnist at the Trentonian that endorses it also.
Yeah,
That would be the New Jersey Weed Man.
what's his column?
Has he ever actually officially endorsed it? I mean, he talks about it. Has he ever said those words,
Yeah.
I endorse it?
Well,
It's not official till you use the word endorse. Doesn't count.
you know, and we're talking about reasonable. We're talking about regulating the marijuana distribution in the state of New Jersey in a reasonable way, in a way that the citizens are willing to accept, barring it from minors. It's only for adults. It's you know, it still driving under the influence would be illegal, and only in licensed locations would it be legal. It would be taxed. It would be labeled. You would know what was in it. We talked about the difficulty of getting understanding what's in the marijuana from these alternative treatment centers. Well, here you would have testing agencies that would be able to test the marijuana, and
And we have some competitive pricing finally too.
yeah, sure.
This would be the one
Sure.
thing, no matter how many patients we could get into the program,
Right.
it's they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So if the price was 60% of what it is for medical, if they could at least have a choice of where to buy it
Yeah.
with a
Now,
little more competitiveness.
And Senator Scutari's bill, S 1896, also allows for home cultivation, which I think is a very important provision.
Was it similar to what was taken out of the Senate bill?
Actually, yes, it is very similar. It was, I think there's 5 plants rather than 6 plants, and there's some talk about maybe another one as a mother plant if you get the clones from it. But there's a reasonable and limited amount of home cultivation in a secure location. That would really empower patients, Jim. That would just put the patient back at the center of his own health care. If he could grow his own medicine for pennies, it just removes the pharmaceutical industry from the dominant position in healthcare. It removes the health insurance industry from the dominant position in healthcare, and it puts the patient back in charge of things, and that's the way it should be.
I think patients stand to gain more from legalization than somebody like myself.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And for the people who have really bad headaches, to have a governor say, well, you can't have people getting medical marijuana just because they got a headache. Why not? I mean, there's...
Well, it's quite clear that Governor Christie has never had a migraine headache, because migraine headaches can be disabling. And marijuana can actually work very effectively on migraine headaches. They can prevent them. They can interrupt the course of a migraine headache. And to make jokes about getting marijuana for headaches is just so inappropriate. It just shows that politicians should not be in charge of this. That this program should be between a doctor and a patient, and between a nurse practitioner and the patient.
I know what I was trying to remember. I was going to bring a newspaper, as I try to do with something interesting during the week, and there was yet another study of some sort verifying what we already know about the amount of people becoming addicted to heroin in the last 6 or 7 years, how many more middle-class women especially are becoming addicted, and it has to do with their lack of pain relief proper from with opiate-based drugs, and then if they take more than they should or find out that they can become addicted, it's they were saying that heroin bought illegally is about 25% of the cost of legal prescription drugs. But to have our governor making fun of specific sources of pain,
especially since a friend of his died of wasn't it of opiates from prescription OD?
Who's that, Wayne?
Christie.
Yeah, he had a friend. They said somebody he went to school with.
And here
who
he
died
jokes
of an
about it,
overdose.
where
And
marijuana could have saved that person.
Marijuana could have saved that person. You're absolutely right. In states that have robust medical marijuana programs, not New Jersey, but 13 other states that have robust medical marijuana programs, there's a 25% reduction in opiate overdose deaths.
Yep,
And that's because marijuana is a safe and effective substitute for these killer
so
opiates.
allowing pain from any source, neuropathic pain, as an indication to be allowed into the program, that would, by other statistics, lower our morbidity rate due to opiates, legal and heroin, by 25%.
Mortality rate.
Mortality rate.
Yeah.
What did I say, morbidity?
Morbidity. Morbidity is sickness. Mortality is death.
I learned something every day here, I got to say. All right?
Yeah.
Hope everybody heard that. Don't make the same mistake I did. Yeah, but that's it really is no joking matter that I don't know what numbers that translates to, but we keep hearing if it can save only one life, and the Narcan, what they use to revive overdose victims, is having an impact. This would probably have a greater impact. They would never get to that overdose state. They could avoid that. They could save on Narcan. There wouldn't be as many people to revive. I don't know what those numbers are, but perhaps in the future patients will become more involved in some at least local initiatives and the effort to legalize. It'd be nice if patients made that point themselves. And I know, like Stephen
Yeah.
Kaspilich does every chance he gets, he can't afford the medicine,
Yeah.
so he would if it was be able to afford more if it was legal for adult consumption.
It's difficult for patients to get around too. You know, I mean, you're talking about people who mostly are disabled. You know, I mean,
We have no delivery
yeah,
service in New
yeah,
Jersey.
no delivery service. It's patients are unable to work. They're obviously impoverished by their illness, and you know, it's just difficult for them to speak out. And they may be using marijuana illegally, which puts them, you know, jeopardizes what access to health care that they do get. So it's a difficult position for patients. But you know, going to your town council, your city council, you know, there's 565 towns and municipalities in the state of New Jersey. So you know, this is going to have to be a group effort. But to bring this resolution to your towns and ask them to vote on it, I think is a it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it starts a dialogue going about the harms that are associated with the current policy of marijuana prohibition, and the greater harms that are done by keeping this safe and effective medicine from people who need it. So you know, this is something that anybody can do, and I would encourage everyone to do it. To take that resolution, that Asbury Park resolution, and run with it and take it to your city council at home.
It's not theoretical anymore. We have one municipality who endorses legalization.
And it was unanimous too, Jim. You know, it was just so heartwarming to have that vote. You know, I think there were 4 council people and the mayor, and you know, it was a 5-0 vote. It was just really heartwarming to have that come about the way it did. Randy Thompson from Help Not Handcuffs. He was the one who started this process in Asbury Park, and really got to give him all the kudos, really, because you know, I came in late, and you know, some of the other people came in late and supported this, but Randy was there from the beginning, and he helped to draft this resolution.
When did he begin on that? How long did it take?
I'm not really sure. I'd like to talk to him about it on CMMNJ TV, but Lefty's not going to be there on Thursday because.
Well, you know, it's funny. I think I was there first, actually,
Where?
to Asbury Park, talking to the council and the mayor about this.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm always there first. I never get any of the credit, but I'm there first, laying the trail.
He was with the chief of police.
Well, you know, I have to tell you
And-
that CMMNJ's been going to Asbury Park for years. You know, we've been going to the Pride
touche.
Festival, and
He's
you
been
know,
going there and getting stoned.
Hey! I
was born there.
I went there with my family in 1957.
Smoking my first joint there. Beat that kid. You weren't even born.
All right, you got me beat. Fine. Great.
Yeah, move over. What's his name?
but no, Randy Thompson, and he did a great job
Randy.
at
No.
Help Not Handcuffs. So he's got a
Yes,
website,
yes.
he's got a Facebook page, and you know, I encourage people to go and visit that and
What is his
endorse what he's doing.
What is his website?
Well, Help Not Handcuffs, either .org or .com. I'm not sure. But he you know, he's very easy to find on Facebook too.
Nice.
You know, maybe that could be the INE Tour's new thing. We go over to city councils, town councils, and just throw up the same, like, cut and paste.
I agree. And
Yeah.
like we were saying, you know,
Start with Randolph.
you can approach people now and say, "Here's what Asbury Park did. We'd like to do the same thing here. Tell me why not." I mean,
Yeah.
you
How,
know,
how can you argue with this? You know, he just presents these points one after another and says, you know, now which one of these do you want to argue with? You know, because when you lay about like that, they're very tough to argue with.
Commonsensical.
Yeah, it is commonsensical, Wayne. You're absolutely right. And so basically, all the resolution says is that the mayor and council and of the city hereby support fair and effective criminal justice and drug policies, and the mayor and council of the city hereby urge the New Jersey State Legislature to pass and the governor to sign legislation to legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana for adults.
Say that again. Who are the people?
The mayor and council of the city
Okay.
urge the New Jersey State Legislature
So
to
I gotta
pass
talk
it.
to my mayor. We have
Yeah,
to talk
the
to
mayor
our
and
mayors.
the council. If you have a council and a mayor in your city, not every city does, but you know, whoever you consider the town fathers and mothers, I guess, that you urge the state legislature to pass it and the governor to sign it. Legislation to legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana for adults. Now, just to be clear, this resolution does not mean you can go and smoke marijuana in Asbury Park. And
It doesn't?
No, doesn't. It doesn't mean that.
We can. Don't worry. We
Some
have
people-
the
we
card.
can. Me and
We
you.
have the card. Don't
We got
worry.
cards. Oh, sh-
We're golden.
yeah.
Unless, you,
everyone
unless,
else
you have,
suffers.
unless you have an ID card, it's still illegal, and the police still can arrest you for doing so if you don't have an ID
Well, I
card.
talked to Chief Salerno, and he's pretty cool. When I first met him, he says, "Listen, go up the street and hide, and smoke your marijuana behind the tree.
With the crackheads.
With the crackheads, smoke behind the tree." That's what the chief said, and I appreciate him for giving me a place to go. But we can do better.
Yeah.
We could surely I could smoke wherever they smoke tobacco, and that's what happened eventually. We brought out our tape measure, and we measured 35 feet from the door, and we smoked our medical marijuana 35 feet from the door in Asbury Park.
I'll bet you were
Amen.
1 foot inside. I know you. You're a rebel, man. You had 1 foot. You had
He's
1
got
foot
short
at
feet.
34 feet, didn't
He's
you?
got little feet, Jim. Check him
No, I
out.
saw him the other day over there at 1
He never
foot
uses
on,
a tape measure.
Yeah.
He goes by his little feet. He's got like size fives,
He really
5.5 to
He's
max.
about 15 feet, right?
Oh my God, he's crazy.
He's mad because I made a shorthanded joke the other day about him, and he says, "I'm not shorthanded." Yes, you are.
Not polite to make fun of anybody there.
That's right. Don't make fun of my feet because you got short hands.
My short hands are still bigger than your little feet.
Okay.
Focus, Wayne. Focus.
Sorry.
Focus.
The medical marijuana show.
What does that have to do with medical marijuana? Something. You know, when I ran for state senate,
Joints.
the joke was that I would make anything into medical marijuana, and it was so frustrating for people who would interview me. And
Well, yeah, of course. His stubbly hands can hold a lot of joints.
see, there's a way, and there would be more if it were legal, so that would be a good thing. But it would make his hands grow. It'd be like
Maybe in my mind it would.
when I was at the Ocean County Observer paper, talking to the editors about my candidacy for state senate. They asked, "Is there anything else that you might want to talk about?" And I said, "Well, I know you all talk about widening Route 9 all the time." And they said, "How do you feel about that?" I said, "It's interesting. We rode down Route 9 one time. It was pretty bumpy, and I was with Cheryl. And you know what she said?" I went, "What?" She said, "Ow!" Because she was in pain because she didn't have medical marijuana, and if she did, Route 9 wouldn't have needed to be widened and been, So they just threw their pens down and said that there's no way they're going to get me to do that.
The persistency.
Yeah,
tenacity of Jim Miller.
It all relates to medical marijuana.
love
It
it.
does in one way
He's
or
like
the
a
other.
gay rights activist. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
He is. For marijuana, you don't shut up. God bless him.
See, the irony is, if you want to shut me up on that, give me something real good to have a few puffs of, and don't tell me, and then I'll sit back and smile for a
Don't
a
tell.
while.
We're right next to the.
Nothing to say.
You just told the enemy. You just told the enemy your secret.
I don't have secrets from the enemy. That's
No.
what worries them.
Well, running for office, though, really is a good platform. It's a good way to get your message out to a wider
Are
audience.
you running again?
No, I'm not running again. But I did run for U.S. Senate in
US Senate.
2012.
I just liked that page yesterday.
Yeah. What page?
It said Ken Walski for U.S. Senate.
Oh, yeah. That,
You know, it
that-
said
that
like
was me, yes.
suggested. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I haven't taken that page down, only because that page was entered into the Library of Congress. So, I still use it as a forum for.
that's why I asked if you were going to run again.
Well, I would never say never. I certainly
You
might.
just said it twice.
So when's the next time?
Well, who
that
knows?
you could be eligible to run again?
But I would encourage other people to run for office. You should run, Wayne.
Nah, I'm not.
You can do what Jim Miller did. You establish a platform. You talk about certain talking points.
No money
you know.
raised, no money spent.
I-
You
I
don't have
s-
to campaign even. They'll come to you.
I
They will
raised
come
like
to you.
$600 and I spent $300 on a U.S. Senate campaign that my opponent had like $5 million to spend on it.
I see a $300 discrepancy. What'd you do with the rest?
I donated it to another Green Party member who's running.
You better have done
No,
something good
I
with
did.
it.
No, it's you got to be legitimate when you do all that. You got.
That's why I didn't raise
Spending
any
it on
money.
medicine? Is that
Yeah.
legitimate?
No money raised, no money spent. I didn't have to file any forms that you would have had to file
Yeah.
for that. But with no money raised and no money spent, there was always somebody giving me a soapbox. I was on Comcast Newsmakers for 5 minutes and two debates with the opponents where I had equal time.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
just for that alone, and everybody, you get questionnaires from everybody.
But usually you only get on the. Now were you on? You were an independent candidate, I take it.
I was a libertarian. I ran as a libertarian.
Libertarian.
Yeah, so I was on the Comcast debates, and no, it wasn't another debate. It was also the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean County Observer had me.
But did the Comcast give you Democrats and Republicans that you
Yeah.
debate against?
Yeah.
Because the only debates that I was invited to were third-party candidate debates. I debated with the Socialist Party, with the Libertarian
But you
Party.
were
with
on the
Unitarian
national stage. That would have been a lot
It's
harder to
so
be invited at the
I was a Green Party candidate.
at the state level, though.
Yeah,
You'll be
that's a big
invited to at least a couple of the debates. They had it was a Comcast forum, so most debates are actually forums anyway.
Yeah, yeah. No. I did take part in Comcast interview though. I mean, it was like a debate except that there was only one person in the room when they did it. So.
Oh, I got to sit right in between them. But the
Alright.
best was actually at the Asbury Park Press, where they interviewed the candidates together, sitting as close as the three of us are on this side table right here. So I got to sit right next to my senator who avoided me for 9 years, and Andrew Cecila, and then he had to sit next to me at that forum. And yeah, he didn't fare too well. And then even at the end when he tried to shake my hand, which he did, and as he's shaking my hand in front of the editors, he said, "It was good to finally meet you." And I got to hold on to his hand, look him in the face, and say, "Really? Looked painful to me." And throw his hand to the side, pivot, and walk out. Now, who do you think they followed for follow-up questions? They wanted to know all about that. And
Now,
we should encourage
what
people.
You were running for assembly person?
New Jersey State Senate.
State Senate, yeah.
And there was no other third-party candidates, or I guess we would have been fourth-party candidates. So I got 4.26% of the vote, which isn't all that bad by third party.
That's very good for a third party.
And so the issue was noticed.
40.
I got 2,037 votes and one for myself, totaling 2,038. So not to compare with New Jersey Weed Man, who's run for whatever political office there is. He must have done that at least 6-7 times. Governor.
But
Senate.
I did develop a more robust platform than simply drug policy reform. Ending the war on drugs was my number one.
You'll get your shots.
Yeah, that
you
was
were
my
you were an
number one
actual
issue.
candidate. I was simply getting one issue out there, and
Well, you can do that too.
yeah,
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. Really,
I was
mean,
called the one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And I said, "It's a really good trick, though. I can ride that pony around the block more than once."
That's good, Jim. Yeah, no, I had ending the war on drugs, free universal health care for everyone in the state of New Jersey, and ending the influence of money in the electoral process. So those are my 3 windmill tilts. But I got to talk about them, and it was good. And we certainly raised awareness in a lot of areas about the harms that are being done to our society by the war on drugs.
You can raise a lot of awareness going for resolutions in municipalities, I think, too.
Oh,
That's the kind of thing that it'll play in the local news, whatever the newspaper covers it. I mean, if we can be visible in our attempt, should we decide to accept that task. I'm not a door-to-door type person, but you tell me anything I can do to help that doesn't involve going door to door. I feel like a phobia. I couldn't even get my own signatures. I couldn't stand there and ask people to sign something. I'm not afraid of anything except corralling people on their way into a food store to sign something.
Oh, I don't have a problem doing that. You just ask him, would you sign my petition?
No shame in his game.
Ken Walski, I'm running for Green Party. Hey, will you buy my $2 wristband? Want to buy a wristband? Come on, come over here. Look at these beautiful wristbands.
Well,
it's not only a fashion statement; it's a political statement.
Yo, you got a customer.
You got to
Give him across the street.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
We
Wristbands, $2, sir.
We did
T-shirts, $15. Coalition for Medical Marijuana, New Jersey. Help us to get our message out. We're a nonprofit 501c3 educational organization.
And we are tenacious.
Yes, very.
Out here every Thursday. Right outside Chris Christie's office.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
We set up by 11. People get here somewhere after that usually.
And it's about time for me to Hit the road, Jack.
Come back some more.
I love to.
Thank you, Ken Wolski. He always leaves before you break down. Smart man.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
God bless him.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, it's almost
No
that time,
shit.
is it?
We got a few minutes. We're gonna go over it today.
And I guess
There we go. Another supporter. Yes. Yes.
you, thank
you.
Wristbands,
you.
$2. T-shirts, $15.
Yes. Come support the Coalition for Medical Marijuana, New Jersey.
Flags,
We
$15.
got flags from medical-freedom.com.
Medical
flags.
freedom, yes. Very nice. I bought one last week.
I buy one every week,
Buy
and
one
someone
every-
steals it or breaks it, and I have to buy another one. Right, Bill? He knows. He made me a case. Bill made me a case for my flag, so no one steals it or breaks it anymore, right? I was only kidding. I'm like, Bill, where's the case for the flag? Next week, it comes up with a case. That's hardcore, Bill.
that is.
Pretty soon you're going to have your own monogrammed.
It's, look, it
Trenton,
says,
Trenton Fire
Oh.
Department is coming by. How much is Cindy smoking back there anyway?
Cindy, put that out. The fire department's here. Put out your medical marijuana.
They're supporters of ours too. They always wave and sometimes give a quick toot of the horn.
No, we keep them busy.
Setting off them alarms.
Yeah, well, if they just stop reporting grow operations when they see them in the house, that happened recently somewhere, and not bad enough you get a fire, and you know.
No, they were stupid. They were stealing electricity. Was that the one that stole
I
60,000?
don't,
that's what
I
he
don't know
has.
that. Well, then
Yeah,
that's just stupid.
That's
Maybe they should
If
be
you're
put
going to
away
use the
in.
electricity,
well,
you have to
fin-
pay for it.
Oh,
If they would have paid for it, the electric company never would have went to the police.
yeah,
the electric company went to him.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what
Okay.
got
They
him.
ratted
No,
him
there
out.
was something else I was thinking about where there was an emergency of some sort and a person else off. But
Not in this one. We're
always
talking
pay for your own electricity, you know.
Yeah, always.
I know somebody, I can't say who, because he's sitting like here, would run up the electricity a little bit in the winter, keeping warm as you want, so nobody would notice a spike, you know, later on in the summer when you wouldn't need it. It'd be a consistent electric bill. Used to be surges they'd report too, but you can't be stupid.
No, pay your bills.
And you got to learn by other people's mistakes too. So we're getting near the breakdown point. I'm going over to Weed
Don't break
Man's
down,
joint.
Jim.
Only do one
Relax.
illegal thing at a time,
Breakdown.
right? Only do one
Again.
illegal thing at a time. It's a good rule.
Right, that is
Only
good.
one illegal thing at
Yeah.
a time.
How many times, you know, when you read, and please, if you're transporting, don't speed, have your registration lights on if it's raining, all those things, because no offense, I can't have sympathy when I hear, well, they had a no seatbelt on and got stopped, or was speeding.
Doing 110 miles in a 35.
He was just anxious
5 pounds of
anxious
weed
to
in the
get
back.
home. You
With
know?
the joint.
Yeah.
So, Weedman's joint, the Liberty Bell Temple afterwards.
Yeah, let's
little
go
plug,
over
little
there.
plug for the
Of course.
Weedman's place, who, by the way, apparently has the best veggie burger in Trenton, according to Hidden Trenton, 3-star rating out of 3 for the food. Not for the ambience, not for the fun, not for the smiling faces you always see, for the actual food. A food
Yeah,
critic
they were a
of
little
sorts
rough.
critiquing that to a 3-star. I
Yeah.
want to go have a smoothie. They said it was so good.
Why
and
not?
Cupcakes.
Berry smoothies.
Movie.
We have a song for that. See, where's my areas? We have to do. Come on, guys.
Well, he doesn't have a mic.
Hey, grab a mic.
Yeah, we good. It's 2 o'clock. We had to be
Let's do this. Ready?
singing the Get Out
I'll
of
start
Dodge
it.
theme song.
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
That was awful, guys.
Sorry, yeah, that was. Wait, are we doing?
Slav.
Yo.
Smoothies. That's
on?
your part.
Supposed to say smoothie?
That's your part. It's blue. I say
Smooth-
berry. You say smoothies.
I say smoothie.
Yes.
Blueberry.
Smoothie.
Blueberry smoothie. No, you gotta do it. You gotta go 1 octave up for me. I gotta go blueberry smoothies.
Yeah, okay.
Blueberry smoothies.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ready? All right, ready.
Come on, for the Stooges, one
Jesus.
time, update it.
Ready? You gotta go 1 octave up for me, Wayne. So let's go blueberry
Smoothie.
Blueberry
Blueberry smoothie.
No.
Now I don't feel like a blueberry
I'm not
smoothie
feeling it.
anymore.
I
I
don't-
don't, don't
I'm
be
not-
doing the cupcake thing, or I'm gonna go
Yeah.
home hungry too.
I'm not feeling it, man. I'm gonna have water.
I'm out. I'm gonna start take down the signs because I got to get out of there before the Trenton traffic lets out later. So
Jim Miller.
Thanks for setting up again.
Thank
Lefty,
you.
I appreciate all your
Jim
hard
Miller.
work. I
Thank you,
know
Jim Miller.
what it
Ken
is,
Walski.
and once again, thanks for
From the
coming through on a
coalition.
Thursday. Appreciate it.
From the Coalition for Medical Marijuana, New Jersey. Check them out. CMMNJ.org. Fully Baked Radio. SteveCross.com. Medical slash.
No.
Freedom. Dash.
Dash.
That's what's the difference between a slash and a dash?
And this is how we do it.
Slash is that way. Dash is that way.
Medical dash freedom.
Medical-freedom.com.
Medical-freedom.com.
Even Harry Anslinger loves medical-freedom.com ever since he put one on my grave.
Cannabis freedom fighters, medical, religious, social, state of compassion flags, Sativa Cross trademark, sativacross.com, fullybakeradio.com, CMMNJ.org.
Orgy.
Orgy. New Jersey Weedman's Joint.com. New Jersey Weedman's Joint.com.
that's right, just
New
throw
Jersey
that.
Weedman's Joint.
.com. Blueberry smoothies.
Blueberry smoothies.
Try it again. One more time.
Blueberry.
Wayne.
Come on, man. Wake up,
What's wrong
dude.
with you? You started. You started.
You start.
Blueberry
Smoothies.
Blueberry smoothies. We got to work on that. It's getting better though.
Again.
All
there,
right. Nice
somewhere.
talking to you. Ciao.
Thank you for
We need-
listening.
we
Thank you
need-
for watching. Thanks for tuning in to the Sativa
Thank you,
Cross
thank you.
podcast of the Fully Baked Radio Show every Thursday.
In front of the State House.
Anything else, Wayne, before we go?
No, if you'd like to have fun, meet us at NJ Weedman's Joint.
The Weedman's Joint. That's
The
what we're going.
Weedman's Joint.
Right
The
now,
Weedman's Joint.
come
Weed
to
at
the
the joint.
Weedman's
The restaurant's
Joint.
a joint. Restaurant's
Yes,
a temple.
Cindy.
A temple.
Hey, Lefty.
Hi. What's going on?
I don't know. You guys were up here singing and stuff.
Get your lunch
You know,
at
let's
the
tell
joint.
people to
Get
come
your
out here
lunch
to the
at
State House
joint.
every Thursday from 11 to 2.
Well,
Join us. Help get the message spread. Help educate the people.
Educate them.
Educate them. This is what it's
Edumacation.
all about, is educating
That's
the
what
masses.
it's about.
okay, we'll
Yes.
see you Monday.
Learn
Yes.
and learn some more.
Yeah, watch some
And
YouTube
then
videos.
after you
It's real
smoke,
stuff
you smoke
here.
some
This
more.
medical marijuana
And then after
really
you
works.
smoke, then you smoke some more.
Yeah, it's not like a bunch
Oh.
of crazy potheads. It's real medical patients also. All right, love you guys.
See you next
See
week.
you, world.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
See ya.
Deuces. Peace.
See ya.
Rhythm in my life.